Boxing King Media, powered by BYD and the Riyadh season. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Robert Garcia at your gym. Robert, every time I come here, there's like loads, there's just like a new pool of young fighters coming through, and they can all look like they can punch.
You know, that's what we do for a living, man. You know, we build them since they're kids, and you know, if you take 2 or 3 years to come, you know, you'll see all the new talent in my gym. You know, we have a lot of good help from a lot of parents, a lot of help from my son Chepe Felipe. You know, our conditioning coach Charles family. So you know, everybody's happy.
They are, and it's fascinating because when the first time I came here, I think Lindolfo, Virgil, they were like 8, 9 and 0, and now they're fully grown men looking to be in big fights.
Correct. You know, now those names that you mentioned, you know, just to mention a few, you know, they're ready for a world title fight. You know, Virgil's next fight is ready for an interim WBC title, which is already a world title. Lindolfo is ranked in the top 10, so he should be, you know, getting closer and closer after his next fight to fight for the world title. So we're excited. We're happy to do what we're doing. You know, we love what we do and enjoying every moment of it.
Could you drop some names, maybe say if I came back here in 5 years' time, who will I be talking about then from the young crop?
Man, I got a few that I know for sure you'll be talking about probably in the next 3-4 years. Albert Gonzalez, Chop. That kid's special. That kid's gonna be one of the.
What weight is he?
He's a featherweight, 126 right now. But you know, he fights 130, 126, wherever. You know, 4 pounds is not that much of a difference. So you know, his next fight's at 126, but then the following one in September is gonna be at 130. So I fight him 30 and 26. But you know, I think he's gonna be one of those special ones. I have Art Barrera, you know, who's a welterweight, who's also one of the special ones. Leonardo Rubalcaba. Leonardo Ruiz, you know, 3-4 years from now, you know, they'll be the ones, you know, like Lindolfo right now, like Virgil, like Oscar Duarte, Jose Ramirez, obviously already a veteran in the gym, and Jose Ramirez is barely going to turn 32, and he is the veteran in the gym.
He is. I was actually saying to Jose Ramirez, he's almost like a veteran in this gym as well. Have you still got the same hunger as a trainer? Do you still get excited coming in? And I saw you earlier with no straps on. Are you still taking these heavy punches on your wrists? You still got the same hunger?
Oh, definitely. No, look, in order to continue growing the list of all my world champions, I have to work hard. You know, so far we've made 14 world champions out of our gym, and you know, we have 2 big fights coming up in the next 2 weeks. Rayo Valenzuela fighting for the WBA, and Virgil Ortiz fighting for the WBC. You know, so we have guys like Lindolfo, Raymond Morataya, who could be fighting for the world title sometime this year. So, you know, the list has to keep going. You know, in order for me to continue growing that list, we have to work hard, you know, and it's not just me. Like I said, you know, Virgil Sr., Hector Beltran, we have Gabriel Morataya, Raymond's father, my son Pita, Chepe, Felipe, Charles. We all have to work hard in order to make those champions, to make it happen.
What happens when you have a new champion? When they walk into the gym, do you guys do like some sort of ceremony or anything like that?
You know what I like to do, and not necessarily with the fighter. Every time I have a world champion, I'll have a barbecue in my house to invite my family, and if the fighter's around, because most of the time the fighters travel to their home, but if they're around, well, they'll be around. But the first thing we'll do is we'll switch their picture from the prospect wall to the champions wall. So that's what we'll do, you know.
I didn't know the difference. Okay, now I know.
Yeah. So the champions are over here, and my prospects are on the other side. So right away we'll switch their picture to the other side. You know, they don't have their belt with them, so we'll definitely get a good picture and then put the new picture. But right away, that's the first thing we do.
I like that. You're obviously potentially going to get a new world champion this Saturday if your guy wins. How much of a challenge is Isaac Cruz? Because we've seen him give Gervonta Davis a hard fight and he's blowing guys away.
You know what? Pitbull Cruz is a very dangerous fighter to fight because his style is very difficult to beat, especially when you have somebody like Pitbull Cruz, who is very hungry, he fights for his family. I've seen stories on him where he does everything for his wife and kids, and obviously his dad, who is his trainer. So I respect that. I admire his career. He doesn't have the prettiest style, so that makes it even more difficult because he's a guy that's gonna keep coming. You know he's one of the guys that you could beat the first 6 rounds, the first 8 rounds, but you used to have 6 more to go. You used to have 4 more to go. And if you're not in good shape, if you get tired, you're in trouble. So to beat Cruz, you have to be in the best shape of your life. And that's what we did with Rayo. I think Rayo's in great shape. I think Rayo is mentally ready to beat Cruz. I've told Rayo it's not going to be easy, but he's got what it takes. He's very tall compared to Pitbull. I think we've seen some of Pitbull's fights, and he had a difficult time with somebody like Giovanni Cabrera, who's also a left-hander and also pretty tall. So that's going to be something that we're going to use in our advantage. I think Rayo hits a lot harder than Cabrera. So Rayo might be the hardest puncher Pitbull's ever faced. So I think we also have that chance where if we land
Harder than Gervonta?
you know what? I think maybe not harder than Gervonta, but Gervonta Tank Davis against Pitbull, from what I understand, he had his hand pretty hurt. I think he broke his hand or something. So that's why. That's the difference. Pitbull was able to take his punch, but Pitbull didn't get hit with a solid punch from Tank. And I think that Rayo maybe doesn't hit as hard as Tank, but very close. But Tank wasn't able to hit because Tank had his hand pretty hurt, so couldn't land that punch. I think if Rayo lands, I think Rayo could hurt him with his punches because Rayo hits very hard. So see, those are things that I'm taking advantage of. The power, obviously, great condition, great boxing skills on the outside. So I think we have the tools to beat Cruz. Will it be easy? Definitely not. It's going to be hard. Rayo has to fight the perfect fight, and also has to fight with the heart of a lion, of a warrior, because that's what people's going to bring.
There was a rhyme in there as well. He said, "We have the tools to beat Cruz."
I think so too. I think we do.
I said it rhymed.
Oh,
The
it does.
tools to beat Cruz.
I think it's perfect. It's perfectly put together because styles make fights, and I think this fight, the Rayo style, is perfect to be able to. I don't want to say outbox Cruz, because Cruz is hard to get outboxed, but I think we could do that for the first half of the fight. But then when it's necessary, I think on the inside, I think Rayo has the power to also land some good punches and maybe hurt Cruz.
It's a great fight, man. Either way, we're looking forward to it. On the card, the other 2 fights that stick out, and I was going to ask for some quick predictions on them. The obvious ones, Crawford, Madrimov, and then Ruiz, Miller. We've seen Miller's 45 pounds lighter as well.
You know what? I think Miller's in great shape. I think Miller's taking it seriously now. So it's going to be a really good fight. Obviously, I have to go with the Mexican-American, Andy. He's a local guy. I've known him. I met him. I know him. So I'm definitely cheering for him because he's always been really good with him. Miller, I've never really met him, but I know he's in great shape because he's taking his career seriously. So it's gonna be a great fight. I can't say it's gonna be the fight that steals the night, because Pitbull versus Rayo, I think, is the fight that's gonna steal the night. But I'm excited about Andy's fight against Miller, because I know it's gonna be a great fight. But definitely cheering for Andy.
Obviously, with the main event, I was saying to Virgil earlier, there's every chance he could find himself in a position fighting Terence Crawford within the next 6 months.
Correct. That's the plan, and that's what we would love to do. We would love to fight somebody like Terence Crawford. If he wins, he's going to be the champion. But I do pick Crawford to win, but I don't think he's in an easy fight. I think his opponent, Madrimov, is hungry to make a statement, hungry to prove the world wrong. And when you have somebody like that, especially Eastern European fighters who come to this country to fight, and they're hungry, those are going to be hard to beat. Those guys are very hard to beat. So I know they're gonna put up a good fight. I know Joe Diaz has a great game plan to come up with the upset, and I wouldn't be surprised because I also think from what I've seen and maybe even heard from Crawford, he's looking for a big payday. He's already 37. He's already looking for a to cash out a big fight against Canelo. He's looking for something where he makes $20+ million. And if he's already thinking like that, then you have a hungry guy that's going to come to you. He's going to give you trouble. He's going to give you problems. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pull off the upset. And I would be very happy because Joe Diaz deserves it. He's a great trainer. He's a good friend of mine. And I know Madrimov is very hungry to do it. You know, I would also be very happy to see Crawford win because it's a possible chance that we might meet him next with my fighter, with Virgil. So both sides, I'll be happy because one is business side that we love that fight. The other one is more of a, my heart is kind of cheering for Joel Diaz and Madrimov to pull it off.
Good stuff. Well, it's going to be a great card. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't always let you go without speaking about Anthony Joshua because the time that you spent around him. Obviously, he's had a couple of good wins now. A lot of people said the Otto Wallin fight was going to be a hard fight for him, but he blitzed Otto Wallin, and then we saw people saying, "Oh, Otto Wallin wasn't that good anyway." And then Ngannou gave Tyson a hard fight, and they were saying, some people were saying it's going to be a hard fight, but he blitzed him as well. So, what do you make? Is this Anthony Joshua improved under Ben Davison, or are the opponents picked cleverly? What do you make?
You know what? I think Matchroom and his management team, they've done such a great job keeping him busy. That's the main reason. I don't think the opponents were easy. I think it was just Anthony Joshua staying active, staying busy that blew them out. And has looked sensational. Ngannou, was it that the fight Tyson Fury? Tyson Fury, I think didn't train for that fight and made boxing look bad. I always said, hey, Anthony Joshua is not gonna let this guy go past third round because Anthony Joshua has the power, has the skills, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He did exactly what Tyson Fury should have done, but he didn't. So activity, his dedication, his hunger right now to become champion again is what has made him look so good. I think Ben Davis definitely is a great trainer and has helped a lot, but I think it's more just staying active, keeping him busy. Matchroom, his management team have done a great job, and I want to continue seeing his career because the way it's going, I have no doubt that he will be champion again, and soon after that, maybe fight to become undisputed one more time. Give it another try to fight one of those top guys. Maybe those top guys retire because they've accomplished so much, and maybe those titles will be vacant. And I think Anthony Joshua has a great chance of becoming undisputed again. Not again, but another chance to become undisputed. I think he's gonna be. I think he's like. With his activity, I think he's like a new Anthony Joshua, and I'm very happy. I'm excited to see the rest of his career.
Daniel Dubois, you will have seen him against Hrgovic, put off a great win. He's known for his punch power in the industry. Everyone talks about his crazy power. He takes on Anthony Joshua. He's also the IBF heavyweight world champion. How close is that fight?
You know what? It is a close fight because we can't underestimate a world champion. Nobody can, nobody should. But me personally, I think the activity that Anthony Joshua has, the confidence that he's built in his last 4 fights, I think it's gonna be enough to turn it into an easy fight. I think Anthony Joshua wins comfortable, and I think Anthony Joshua wins by knockout.
Does a trilogy fight with Usyk, can he overturn that?
With his activity, I think he could put up a very good fight, especially knowing, that he's got to do something different. I think Ben Davis will probably force him to fight a little more aggressive. I think if he fights aggressive, I think he could beat Usyk. He can't try to outbox or outsmart Usyk because Usyk is very smart. On the outside, he's a great counterpuncher. You can't do that. You can't beat him like that. But if the couple times or the few times that Anthony was the aggressive, especially with body shots. I think he had a lot of success. There was one round where he had Usyk in a lot of trouble. If he is in condition enough to do that for a good 12 rounds, I think Anthony Joshua could beat him.
And just lastly on Anthony Joshua, obviously you're training for a little while. Do you guys still speak? You know, what's the relationship like now?
Oh, look, I don't speak with him, but I do speak with a lot of the members of the team. We through WhatsApp we go back and forth. They're great people, great team. And Anthony Joshua was always also a great student. Always wants to do good. He was going through a moment where he had lost his last fight, and then going in the rematch against the same guy, so his mind wasn't there. There was a lot of things going on in camp, that obviously is not me to reveal. It's Anthony. If he wants to say it one day, he could say it, but there was a lot of things going on through camp. But now I think he's unstoppable right now, and I don't know if him fighting Usyk will make a big difference, but I think he could, especially after all the wins that he's had, the activity that he's had. His confidence has become maybe better than it was way earlier in his career. He's unstoppable right now. I think right now he's in the right moment.
You know what I liked you just said there? You said that things weren't right, but we've never heard Anthony Joshua say if anything wasn't right, and he's never made any excuses about his bad performances or his losses. And also Tyson Fury, when he lost to Ngannou, he always is, even till this day, he'll tell you that he had a solid training camp and everything was great, but you obviously physically could see that it wasn't. I rate that about some, because people don't really highlight that when fighters don't make excuses, but when they do make excuses, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. But when they don't make excuses, no one really talks about it.
Exactly, that's the way a true fighter, a true warrior should do. Fury made a big mistake, and paid for it, because it looked really bad. And he made UFC look like they could all compete against boxers, and that's just not the case. Every time I have a young fighter and they tell me you're fighting an MMA guy, right away we say let's get it, because that's an easy fight. It should have been an easy fight for Tyson Fury also, but he did it to himself. He paid the consequences, and now he's he lost his last fight, so he's got a big rematch coming up. So that's also good for him. Money wise, great fight for him, but it did look pretty bad on him. But I think Anthony Joshua coming back and doing what Fury couldn't do, and what people thought it was going to be such a hard fight, coming back and just destroying that guy so easy, made a point to everybody who thought these guys could actually compete with boxers in a boxing ring. In a cage, it's totally different. In a street fight, it's totally different. But in a boxing ring, there's no match.
I agree. And the last thing, I always speak to the fighters about their personal lives. I want to ask about you. What does Robert Garcia do when you're leaving the gym? Because your sons are training fighters and your dad was training fighters. Boxing lives in your blood. So when you go home, how does Mrs. Garcia get you switched off from all this?
You know what? When I go home, I forget boxing. I forget about boxing. I do my boxing here with all my fighters. When I'm here, I don't have a family. When I'm here, I'm focused on all my fighters. I'm focused on everybody getting their workout that they're supposed to. But when I go home, I'm a husband, and I'm still a father of my young kids that are still young teenagers. I have 3 that are teenagers, and my grandkids. I focus on my grandkids. I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and my granddaughter who is about 5 months old. So I focus on them. I try to spend as much time with my wife and my grandkids. My wife is gonna have a cooked meal for me when I get home. What
are you having today?
I don't know. She always surprises me, but it's always Mexican food. She's Mexican, and she was born and raised in Mexico, so she's a really good cook. She was raised right. When I get home, I have a nice cooked meal. I don't know what it is, but every day I'm excited to go home, because I know I'm gonna have a good meal, take a good shower. Today, for the fights that we still have in LA, I'm going after my meal. I'm gonna drive to LA because I have to be over there with Rayo Valenzuela for the grand arrivals and all that. So I'm traveling back and forth. But normal day, I go home, have a good meal with my wife, enjoy my grandkids, and then in the evenings I drive to my dad's house around 5-6 p.m. and I stay with my dad for a good 3-4 hours until he goes to bed. Then I go back home because my dad, my mom passed 3.5 years ago, and since then every day I spend every evening with my dad. Myself and my sister and my brother Mikey, we stay with my dad until it's pretty much his bedtime, and then we come home.
You know, Robert, I love that. That's true family values, and it's the first time I've been to your gym and your dad's not here. Normally, he's always sat in this in the OG seat behind me.
He's always, especially on sparring days. Today, I'm pretty sure he's got something else going on because he also he's retired. So all he does is stays home, takes care of a lot of his plants because that's a little thing he does. He takes care of his plants, but she also has a few rental homes. So he's always has something to do with his rental home, so that keeps him busy. But the gym is what keeps him alive. He goes to the fights, he comes to the gym. Today I'm surprised he wasn't here because he's here almost every day, but it's because I'm pretty sure he had something else to do. But yeah, that's he's part of our team. If every fighter, especially if you talk to Virgil, they come up to my dad and how'd you like my sparring? And my dad, he'll be straight out, this is what I didn't like, or this is what I like, do this, do that, and they love it. Even if it's negative, they love to hear from me.
You don't care, but he tells them straight
out. Oh yeah, straight out. He will. We've had I'm not gonna say the name, but we had one of our big names right now training that did 10 rounds a few months ago, did 10 rounds and came off the ring and told asked my dad, how'd you like my sparring? And my dad told him, you only sparred 4 rounds. And he's like, no, I did 10. He's like, no, you did 4 rounds, 4 good rounds. The first 6, you didn't do nothing. You just, survived. And I didn't like that. He tells them straight out. That's what they need to hear.
What do you treat yourself to? Like, you talked about family values and family time, but what does Robert Garcia treat himself to? Like, Virgil was telling me earlier that he plays the piano, he's bought himself a guitar recently. What's Robert Garcia do?
I love ice cream. I think I have ice cream every day. After my wife, cooks for me and we eat. I always have my fridge outside in my backyard full of ice cream. So I like ice cream. I also like to spend every weekend that I have off that I don't have fights, which is not that often, but whenever I do, my wife and I will say, let's go to Mexico. Let's go to Big Bear. Let's take a little trip. Even if it's just on a two-day weekend, we'll do it. I love to get away, and if it's taking my young ones or my grandson or just my wife and I by ourselves, I just love to enjoy it where I forget boxing.
Robert, I appreciate your time, brother, that you gave me plenty of time today. I appreciate it, and all the best Saturday night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.